What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Wednesday, May 25th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, MLB, we have a 7-game slate here tonight. So let's take a look at the pitcher position. I'm going to save some salary at the pitcher position here tonight. I like Drew Rasmussen. And he's pitching against a low salary batting team, the Miami Marlins. Drew Rasmussen only giving up a .532 OPS versus righties. He's facing 8 righties here tonight. Now, the Marlins have only hit one of his last 6 pitches, but that's a small sample size. So we got to throw that out, even though it's a good start. Too small of a sample size there. But the splits are good here, and he's only $8,600 FanDuel salary, $600 more on DraftKings, averaging 27 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 42, 17, and 33 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He has an ERA of 2.33, record is 4-1, and he's pitching an average of 79 pitches per game. And I like this pick because Vegas thinks this is going to be a low-scoring game. Only 7 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So I like Drew Rasmussen here versus the Miami Marlins. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. I like Jared Walsh with a 42% batting advantage over Glenn Otto. Jared Walsh is batting 35% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .897 OPS versus righties. Glenn Otto pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters, giving up a .841 OPS versus lefties. Now, Jared Walsh is 3 for 4 with a .750 batting average and a 1.750 OPS versus Otto. He's $3,400 FanDuel salary, $400 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .243, so I like Jared Walsh here versus Glenn Otto. Now I also like Andrew Vaughn with a 56% batting advantage over Rich Hill. Andrew Vaughn is batting 25% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .934 OPS versus lefties. Rich Hill pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 30% worse than his pitch to lefties, giving up a .764 OPS versus righties. Now there's no at-bats versus Hill yet, but Andrew Vaughn is only $2,600 FanDuel salary. He's $1,300 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season, and he has a batting average of .287. So I like Andrew Vaughn here versus Rich Hill. Now another value play is Jonah Heim with a 75% batting advantage over Reed Detmers. Jonah Heim is batting 44% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.065 OPS versus lefties. Reed Detmers pitching his worst ball versus switch hitters, 31% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.067 OPS versus switch hitters. And Jonah Heim is only $2,500 FanDuel salary, $1,200 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .279. So I like Jonah Heim here versus Reed Detmers. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal All you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Ian Happ batting against Luis Castillo. Ian Happ is batting a .766 OPS versus righties. Luis Castillo giving up a .694 OPS versus switch hitters. But I like this pick because Ian Happ is 8 for 21. That's a .381 batting average and a 1.077 OPS versus Castillo. He's $3,300 FanDuel salary, $1,200 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season, and he has a batting average of .275. So I like Ian Happ here versus Luis Castillo. Okay, who do we have at the third base position? I like Austin Riley with a 54% batting advantage over Ranger Suarez. Austin Riley batting a .814 OPS versus lefties, and Ranger Suarez pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 54% worse than his pitch to lefties, giving up a .740 OPS versus righties. Now Austin Riley is 1 for 2 here versus Suarez. He's $3,400 FanDuel salary, $1,100 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .238. So I like Austin Riley here versus Ranger Suarez. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. A stud that I like on the slate here tonight is Tim Anderson with a 57% batting advantage over Rich Hill. Tim Anderson is batting 26% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.088 OPS versus lefties. Rich Hill is pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 30% worse than his pitch to lefties, giving up a .764 OPS versus righties. Now Tim Anderson is 0 for 2 versus Hill, but the splits are good here, and he's $3,900 FanDuel salary, $1,500 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, and he has a batting average of .365. So I like Tim Anderson here versus Rich Hill. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. So the home run hitters that I like here tonight, Aaron Judge, Ronald Acuna Jr., JD Martinez, and Giancarlo Stanton. So let's take a look at JD Martinez. He's got a 24% batting advantage over Lucas Giolito. JD Martinez is batting a little bit better here versus righty pitchers, batting a .938 OPS versus righties. And Lucas Giolito pitches his worst ball versus righty batters, 21% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .790 OPS versus righties. I like this pick because JD Martinez is 5 for 10 with a 1.345 OPS versus Giolito. He's $3,900 FanDuel salary, $700 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, and he has a batting average of .366. So I like JD Martinez here versus Lucas Giolito. Now let's take a look at Ronald Acuna Jr. He has a 68% batting advantage here over Ranger Suarez. Ronald Acuna Jr. batting 15% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.025 OPS versus lefties. Ranger Suarez pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, giving up a .740 OPS versus righties. And Ronald Acuna Jr. is 2 for 5 with a 1 OPS versus Suarez. He's 4,200 FanDuel salary, 1,600 more on DraftKings, averaging 14 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .292, and I think this guy's due for a home run this season. I think he's only got a couple, so I think those home runs are coming for Ronald Acuna Jr. here versus Ranger Suarez. Now, I also like Michael Brantley with a 45% batting advantage over Cal Quantrill. Michael Brantley bats 34% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .901 OPS versus righties. Cal Quantrill pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters, giving up a .723 OPS versus lefties. There's no at-bats versus Quantrill yet, and Michael Brantley is 3,200 FanDuel salary, only 600 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .283. So I like Michael Brantley here versus Cal Quantrill. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.